What's going on, my friends? Welcome to episode 82 of the Gay Game Podcast, where we talk everything New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, national, and international sports. Hosted by yours truly, Ryan Garcia, joined us around by Cunningham, Alex Reich, Marcellus, Murdock, Sam Morell, and our special guest, Ryan Garcia. You can listen to the podcast right now on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts. And you can watch the soundcast right now on YouTube. Also, show up also social media at Get a Game On Team. With all that said, it's time to get your game on. Yo, guys, I have mixed feelings right now because I was in a bad mood coming into this show, but now now I'm kind of in a good mood because let's not be on the show. We got our first guest of the season. Kern does a lot of great work from Fireside Yankees. Also part of the Deep Drive podcast. Does a lot of great work. Writes for Spin Stripes. Did I get everything?
Yeah, that's everything. I do kind of all over the place in time.
Yeah, but we're so happy to welcome on to the show Ryan Garcia. Ryan, welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Baseball's around the corner. We're gonna get the regular season, I believe, next week on Thursday. Big baseball guy.
Less than a week away.
Yeah.
Me too. That's where we're opening the show with, just so you know. That's why we brought you on.
We had my Knicks and Islanders since and they're not really good this year. So having the Yankees back is gonna be a breath of fresh air.
I gave up on the Knicks. I had all my Knicks gear in my room.
Yeah.
And Ryan, we black Spanish guys, they ain't no hockey players with the black Spanish players.
Yeah, no, hockey's really hockey's always kind of been my distant fourth, but basketball.
I would say it's fourth for me, but because this thing, I'm a Devils fan, so we have big good easily. But hey, at least we have Jack Hughes.
Yeah, I'm all over the place.
You almost had a hat trick today.
Yeah, with me, I'm all over the place. One of my teams is New Orleans. Then I have a team in Milwaukee. I have a team with Baltimore. I have a team with New York. I'm all over the place.
How that's even possible?
Sarah, let's just jump into it right into I was gonna ask you first and foremost, like what you have. We're also gonna recap how the Yankees look going into the season. I'm basically just going to recap everything I said about the offseason, what I think of the team going this year. It's not that I don't dislike the moves they made. I like the moves they make. I like bringing back Anthony Rizzo back. I like bringing in IKF. I'm never going to be able to pronounce his name. but I also like bringing in Josh Donaldson. My big issue is, Ryan, I think you can share the same sum, is that this had so many big ticket options that were available at free agency. Corey Seager was available. Carlos Correa was available. Freddie Freeman was available. I could go on and on. And the fact that they didn't land even one of them, I honestly that honestly left kind of a sour taste in my mouth, because that's basically my I say about the offseason, is that I don't necessarily dislike the moves they made, but I just felt like with all the options that were available, I feel like they personally could have done better.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Look, the Yankees are a better team now than they were coming into 2021, right? Jay Bruce at first base last year. Then you had injured Luke Voigt. Rizzo coming back from COVID didn't play so well. Gallo struggled down the stretch. A lot of guys weren't as good as they usually are. And so the Yankees are going to be a better team this year. But you're exactly right. They really didn't go out and make that big move for that they would have made, 10 years ago. If you have Correa, Freeman, those guys out in the free agent market, the Yankees are a lock to land one of them at least, maybe even two, right? These aren't George Steinbrenner's Yankees. Typically think Hal is one of those guys where he's going to spend enough to get you interested, but not really commit to make those long-term financial commitments, that put you over the top team in baseball. And the Yankees, I think, are going to be competitive. They're going to be a pretty good team. They're going to fight and have a really good chance at division and a good chance in the American League. But they left on the table the opportunity to be far and away the best team in baseball. The Dodgers lost Scherzer. That rotation doesn't look great. Yeah. They have Heaney in there. And if you look at Heaney in spring training so far, training isn't the only thing to look at, obviously, but he's been getting shelled so far. We saw a tenure in New York, it just doesn't look good for that rotation in LA. And a lot of guys who are kind of injury prone, there's a definite weakness on that Dodger roster, something that really wasn't there over the last 2 years. And the Yankees could have taken advantage of that and gone out and get a Freddie Freeman or go big on a shortstop and really capitalize on having a weaker Major League Baseball. You look at the top teams, it's really the Dodgers, maybe the Astros, and they're without Correa. They didn't replace Correa really. The White Sox, but the White Sox didn't really get much better. They lost Rodon, added a couple of relievers, not really a big improvement. Maybe Toronto, but they lost an MVP candidate and the AL Cy Young winner. Boston and Tampa aren't elite. There's really not that one team that stands out as so much better than everyone else, and the Yankees lost that opportunity to be that team.
Yeah, I agree more. I mean, the division, I think. Oh, Sam, you had a question? Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question for you, Ryan. With the moves that happened with the Mets, you saw like how the Mets did, what they did with the free agents and the trades. Do you think that now the Mets are the team for New York, since they're like, let's be real, they're like a lot better than they were before, and they're now like a World Series contender, in my opinion. Do you think they're the team in New York to beat, or do you still think it's like the Yankees?
Well, I mean, I look at the Mets roster and I'll tell you, like, that team is very, very good. Don't get me wrong. But I'm still going to say that the Yankees are just a little bit better. I think the Yankees have a lot more depth in their pitching staff, but the Mets do have those, just a generational top of the rotation. The Mets are going to be a really good team next year. They'll fight for that division. I think they'll be around the second or third best team in the National League. Dodgers should be the best team. I think the Yankees and Mets are like right around the same level. If you want to say the Mets are better, that's fine. If you want to say the Yankees, that's fine. But I think it'd be a bad argument to make that one team's a lot better than the other. Not that you were saying that, but like for anyone listening, right? Like if your Yankees are like, oh no, we're definitely better than the Mets. It's the Mets. They're going to Met. Right. Like, I think that's a ridiculous argument because they're clearly not the Mets before. Like, the Mets in 2018 are not landing Max Scherzer. The Mets now are landing guys like Max Scherzer, different organization. And Yankee or Mets fans saying, oh, the Yankees suck, this and that. Look at Garrett Cole. Like, I got shelled in the playoff game. Garrett Cole's playoff resume speaks for itself. That guy's a sub-3 postseason ERA pitcher, with countless World Series starts. The Astros did not win World Series with him there, but that's
Yankee fans that were like overreact to that one postseason. Ethan Cole started. I'm like, guys, relax a little bit.
Yeah, Cole's surprisingly one of the he's got some of the most volume in the postseason. He has 86 innings in the postseason, 14 starts, 2.93 ERA is amazing, right? Especially when you're pitching in the American League, striking out over 11 batters per 9 in the postseason. This guy is made for the big time. But the Mets have a luxury in which they have two guys like Cole. One's better than Cole, the other one on Cole's level in Scherzer, that you can throw out in a playoff series. And that's 1-2 games where you feel like you're just not going to be able to win if you're any other National League team. No National League team other than the Brewers really has a pitcher that caliber of a Max Scherzer or a Jacob deGrom. You don't really have that counter to those two. So the Mets are going to be a playoff nightmare. If they the playoffs, the NLDS, I couldn't imagine a team that would want to face the Mets. I feel like they're the worst matchup for any team in the NLDS. Yeah. They're so stacked in the top of that rotation. And Chris Bassett, another guy, I think 2. I think
that's low-key a really good move. That's low-key a really good move.
Yeah, so in an NLDS game, I mean, you're struggling to find, the Mets are not going to struggle to find guys. They're going to give you 6 innings, 1-run ball, and then hand it over to their bullpen. And the back end of their bullpen is pretty strong. They got a decent enough lineup. They got good defense. Maybe in a longer series, the Dodgers are going to outmatch the Mets. But in a short series, I just cannot imagine wanting to face the Mets.
Yeah, Alex, you had a question? He's a resident Phillies fan, by the way.
So I'm interested to see what your perspective is on the opening series with the Boston Red Sox.
So, I mean, I think Boston is a good team, but I really don't think Boston's going to be as good as they were last year, especially with the team they're rolling out this year. They lost Eduardo Rodriguez, who had a high ERA, but if you look at a lot of the other metrics, he was a better starter than his ERA showed. A lot of weak contact, a lot of strikeouts, not a lot of walks, right? That's a reliable starter. Someone who's going to, and there's value in volume, right? A guy's going to start 30 games. You had that with Eduardo Rodriguez. The Red Sox lost Sale for the opening part of the season, broken rib cage. They're going to rely on Evaldi, who is the Yankee killer. So definitely think he's really good in that rotation. But they're going to rely on guys like Whitlock, who haven't really been starters at the major league level before. Tanner Houck has been a start at the major league level, really hasn't been able to show that he can get past 4 or 5 innings. You don't have deep bullpen, that might be a struggle there. They have Pivetta, who's always been a league average starter. And then you have Rich Hill, who's awesome. I think he's awesome, like great story, great, everything, but I don't know how good he's going to be next year. I don't really think he's going to be anything better than like a league average starter. Paxton's out for now. Don't know when you're getting him back, right? So the Red Sox rotation is kind of in shambles. The pitching depth isn't great, but they'll have a lineup that'll hit a lot of home runs. They'll steal a lot of story there. It'll be a good series. I'm not going to say the Yankees are a definite lock to win that series because, anything happens, 162. But I think over a full season, you'll see the Yankees, Red Sox. I think it'll lean more towards the Yankees. I think that opening series is going to be pretty inconsequential. Yeah.
Especially in a 162 game season.
Yeah. 60 games matters a lot more, but I'm not too concerned about that opening series unless there's injuries, right? Like in an opening series, I just want to see, I'm just glad baseball's back. Obviously you want to win because those games do count, but I'm not going to be, season's not over if the Yankees lose that series or the Red Sox lose that series.
I agree. Right. Sam, I'll go really quickly, then you can go. I do feel like though, Ryan, I really feel like after because a lot of fans are definitely upset after the disappointing off season and with the way the Yankees got off to the start last year, I feel like they need to get off to at least a decent start this year, because if the Yankees get off to another 5-10 start or 10-20 start, or I don't think they were 10-20 to start last year, but you get my point. If they get off to a slow start, then the pack's already gonna set in. The pack's already unless it's really gonna set in.
Yeah, no, it's a tough division, and you're right. Getting off to a strong start is the end of the world if the Yankees are 500 at the end of April. No, but is it going to make it hard to climb back this division? Yes. I think last year really showed that they really lucked to a really good stretch in August where they looked unbeatable, but they were a very up and down team. That 13-game winning streak, they looked like they could beat up on anyone. They beat on a really good teams. They were beating teams with the Astros in series pretty easily. The White Sox, they were sweeping the Red Sox. They were beating up on Toronto, beating up on Tampa, beating up on everyone. And then they cooled down because they lose 2 series to the Angels and the Orioles, and then lose a series to Cleveland. It's just, what exactly was that Yankee team? That team really didn't make much sense. Next year, they need to be more consistent, right? They need to beat their in-division rivals. Really didn't do that well last year. Boston won the season series against them. Toronto won their season series. Tampa won their season series. They didn't dominate the Orioles like they should have. You're not going to win a division when you lose 3 of your series to your best division rivals, and the 4th one that you're supposed to beat the crap out of, you struggle to win games against.
Yeah, and my issue with the Yankees, especially coming into this season, is that we were saying these expectations about them last year. Last year, they were supposed to be a World Series contender. They were supposed to be that team to beat, and they weren't. That's why I'm kind of concerned, because well, yes, they did make good moves. For example, they traded away Gary Sanchez. They get Donaldson. That's a good move. I'm not going to say some blasphemy of oh, that's a terrible move. Why would you do that? It's a good move, but it's that's not the answer. I don't think that's what we needed. We needed something like a shortstop to help us there, because that shortstop, I think, was our biggest problem last year. Management, you kept them basically, and it's what's going on really is you're basically saying we're going to add some new pieces, but we're not really going to find an answer, and we're going to just run it back. I'm just a little nervous about that. That's my only thing, because like you said, against high competition, they were beating the crap out of all of them. But then against division rivals and against teams you're supposed to beat by a lot, they were losing those games. So that's why I'm like kind of on the fence with the Yankees, just because we had these expectations for them last year. We're having these same expectations this year. And it's basically the same team, just you add better players in certain positions that we really didn't need a better player in that position. We were already fine there. That's my only issue with them.
Yeah, no, I definitely get, the pessimism of, hey, this team is yearly, or ever since really after that 2017 season, because no one saw the Yankees at World Series because they're coming in 2017. We look at 2018, 19, 20, 21, year in, year out, this team is supposed to go to a World Series. 18, he cut some slack. They just ran into a really good Red Sox team. That's the first time that they're really built like that. You run it back in 2019. Run it back in 2019. The clear flaw was the pitching. They didn't address the pitching at the deadline. They get beat by a team that addressed the pitching at the deadline, who went on to go play in the World Series against the Nationals, who were stacked pitching-wise. And, 2020, they get Garrett Cole. They are supposed to have a super rotation with Cole, Severino, Paxton, Tanaka, Montgomery. And before we know it, Severino and Paxton are gone for the season. And you roll into a series against Tampa, very winnable Game 5. Offense collapses, lose, you get sent home. You probably would have won that ALCS, probably would have gotten to that World Series, maybe would have had a shot to get that ring. Then 2021, very winnable game against Boston. Very, very good shot to win, get at least a home wild card game, which those two Stanton doubles or singles would have gone for home runs over there. You probably win that game at home versus at Boston. There are so many factors in which the Yankees just come up short in terms of winning or at least getting to a World Series, and they repeatedly show they can't do it. But one thing I do like is that, they did change a lot, right? And maybe change for the sake of change is good for this Yankee team. Maybe it shows a willingness to shake things up when need be. I'm a very big numbers guy, but I will say there is an extra added presence with Donaldson. I believe Hicks talked about this on the R2C2 podcast, where he talks about how there's just an added level of intensity with Donaldson. He wants teams to, they want to be feared. They want other teams to fear them. I don't think Boston really feared them coming into that wild card game. I think the Yankees played very scared in that game. You look at that 2020 Game 5, the Rays were not scared of the Yankees, right? The Rays were not terrified of Garrett Cole. Even though they had thrown just relievers and 3-inning starters, they were not scared of the Yankees. 2019, Astros were not scared of the Yankees. They beat the crap out of the Yankees at Yankee Stadium twice. 2018, Red Sox rolled in there and swept the Yankees at home. 2017, Astros had no problem finishing them off. The Yankees have to be a team that's feared. I think Donaldson adds to that. Isaiah kind of fell off and bring some speed that the Yankees really haven't had. And defense, when's the last time the Yankees had a shortstop who's been an excellent defender pretty consistently throughout his career, right? That's not really something the Yankees have ever had in the position. It's changed. This is new, right? Not saying it's going to work. Not saying the Yankee team's going to go win 98 games. Number 28, parade in Manhattan, but it's a different team. It's a new team, and we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing, Ryan, is I think a big factor that this might be the Yanks I think is that they may be looking at a couple of their guys that regressed last year to bounce back. Because I was watching what spring training game was that? I forget which one it was. It was one where Glaber and DJ LeMahieu homered, and I tweeted this out. If Glaber, if those are two big key X factors team. If both those guys, Glaber towards the DJ LeMahieu, could get anywhere close to how good they were in 2019, that's gonna really change up the dynamic of this Yankees team.
Yeah, for sure. As much as LeMahieu's contract now, because of that last where he looked mediocre, it doesn't look phenomenal. DJ LeMahieu is still a productive player in this league. There's defensive versatility. There is a guy who you probably, I don't know if I want to lead him off because I think his skill set's underutilized there. I talked to someone, Max Greenfield, good friend of mine, a really smart guy, really smart baseball guy. He was explaining, DJ's kind of the perfect 5 guy if you think about it in the lineup. You have Gallo or Stanton or Judge or Rizzo, whoever you have hitting in front of him. Those guys get on. You want a ball in play at that point. You get a ball with LeMahieu 85% of the time. He puts the ball in play. with a runner on third, that's a run. You know, the Yankees had some guys who could hit, but they really couldn't create runs at the level that was supposed to match their offensive output. I tweeted about this today too with their base running. You know, the Yankees, in terms of weighted runs created plus, which is just offense that is adjusted for your ballpark, all that stuff. The average is 100. If it's above 100, so 105, it's 5% above average. At 95, that's 5% below. Yankees were at a 101 last year, and the Oakland Athletics were at a 102. So the Yankees were 1% worse at hitting than the Oakland Athletics were. The Oakland Athletics generated 23.2 offensive runs. The Yankees were in negative offensive runs. The difference, base running. The Yankees were the second worst base running team last year. The Oakland A's were one of the best base running teams in baseball. The Yankees traded away a lot of guys who sucked at base running. Urshela, Gary, Clint Frazier, Luke Voigt, all those guys were all flat base running. They didn't necessarily bring in a bunch of fast guys, but they it was addition by subtraction, really. And some guys who can make a little more contact in Donaldson and Kiner-Falefa and add some home runs in Donaldson. You know, you're going to see runs next year. And, you know, maybe if Kiner-Falefa can be that guy at the bottom line, steal some bases, create some on base path, you'll see pitchers have to think about a base runner while also trying to pitch to Judge or Stanton or Gallo or Rizzo. That's just added layers of offense that, you know, may not be necessarily quantifiable on the surface level, but add up over the full course of a season.
Another thing that I really need to get to it, you said about them being athletic and them being better on the pace. I think that's gonna help because this. I don't know if you noticed, Ryan. There was this one thing last year. Like the Yankees last year, they obviously had a lot of power. They had a lot of home runs. So you figured that I was looking up the stat here. You know what? And you know on baseball rows, you know what their extra base hit percentage was last year as an offense? They were 25th.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 25th. They were last in doubles, and I believe they were 29th in triples. So they just need to get more extra base hits. Like I love home runs, but I do think you need those like big doubles, big triples. You know, those type of you know, like remember in the I forget what game it was, but game 1 of the 2019 ALDS where Gleyber Torres hit that big double down the line. Like you need those type of big hits.
And the Yankees, realistically, you know, I don't know how many times you could see the Yankee offense get 2 or 3 guys on, and it's a single 1-run scores and can't capitalize off of it in any other way. You know, they'll load up the bases, they'll get 1 run out of it, nothing more, or they'll hold the base and get nothing out of it. You know, that team hit into a lot of double plays, hit a lot of singles, really only hit singles and the long ball. Which again, you're right. Home runs are phenomenal, right? We're not saying take away home runs and replace them with doubles. We're saying take away outs and singles and replace them with doubles. Exactly. Right. That makes your offense better. You get more runs in.
We're not saying hit less home runs. We're saying hit more doubles and triples. Right. That's what we're saying. Yeah.
And that, you know, that offensive philosophy comes with the hit strikes hard thing, which Dylan Lawson, the new Yankee hitting coach, is preaching. You see guys like Gleyber, even Isaiah Kiner-Falefa hitting the ball a lot harder. DJ's always hit the ball hard. He just hits it straight into the ground. And that was his big problem last year. Yeah. And hopefully the Yankees got an offense where every single one of those guys can get you a double at any point in time. And then you already have your guys like Stanton, Judge, Gallo, who are going to be, and Donaldson, who are going to be 30-plus home run threats. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if those guys all got to, you know, 35, 40 home runs apiece. You know, those guys are real power hitters. Yeah. But, you know, yeah, Yankee team's looking at least interesting. I'm interested to watch them. Don't necessarily think they're going to be a World Series winner, but they're interesting to watch, and that's good enough for me.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be fun to watch. Marcellus, did you want to ask a question? He's a resident Mets fan, by the way.
Yeah, I'm a huge Mets fan. Do you think they can get to a World Series?
Absolutely. I truly believe the New York Mets are a World Series contender. I think the New York Mets have the pitching. They have the offense. They are a really good defensive team. If you the Mets, you know, and just the organization as well, they kept a lot of their prospects. They didn't trade anyone crazy. Even the Chris Bassett trade, I don't really care about JT Ginn, or the other guy they traded was 27 years old. He's turning 28 this year. Could not care less about the guy. The Mets spend a lot of money. They don't care about how much money they spend. A lot of their money is allocated to short-term commitments as well. So in 3 or 4 years, they'll have their pockets, their checkbooks all opened up to spend like crazy. Once guys like Soto hit free agency, they still have assets. They have 2 draft picks coming into this season. The Mets are looking pretty strong for the future. Even if they won the World Series this year, not necessarily the end of their window. they'll always have an open window because of how much money they spend or going to spend with Steve Cohen now. I really like the Mets coming into this year.
Yeah, Alex, did you want to ask a couple questions about the Phillies?
What are your thoughts on the Phillies this upcoming season? And do you see them a contender in the playoffs? And how far can they go in your perspective?
So realistically, I mean, I look, I get it. You know, Philly is not a very popular sports city, and I'm not a big fan of Philadelphia as a sports city. But I do think this Philadelphia Phillies team is a lot better than last year's. You know, I hopefully they give Bryson Stott the starting job at shortstop. I think a better defensive shortstop than Didi is a must. Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler, Ranger Suarez, you know, that's a pretty good rotation, top of the three right there. Kyle Gibson should be a solid starter, though he wasn't great in Philly. I understand, you know, for whatever reason, he just didn't pitch well there. I'm forgetting someone in that. Oh, Zach Eflin. There we go. Zach Eflin, solid starter right there, should be above average, but they need the better defense from guys like Stott instead of Didi. If with a better defender at shortstop, you know, they have Segura at second. Hoskins is a good first baseman, not defensively, but offensively crushes the ball. You know, they're going to be a good team position player wise. Added Schwarber, added Castellanos. It's not the best defensive fit, but they can hit. Odubel Herrera, not a huge fan of him in center field. Just don't think he's very good. But again, I don't think it's terrible. And then they have JT Realmuto, who is one of the best players in baseball, right? They have a lot of depth in that rotation. The bullpen's going to walk a lot of guys. Not sure how that bullpen is going to be. Like, it's very hit or miss in that bullpen. And that bullpen might be the difference between them winning 90 games, making the playoffs, or, you know, being a 500 team like they were last year, missing the playoffs. If they make the playoffs, there'll be another team that's hard to face for me, at least. You know, with Wheeler, Nola, Suarez, Eflin, Gibson, you know, you can suddenly move a guy like Gibson to the bullpen. You know, I think the Phillies are going to be a playoff contender. I think there's a chance they win the World Series. Don't necessarily think they're favorites, but they're at least a better team than they were last year. With 3 wildcard teams now, you know, they should definitely be a team that has a shot to fit into that 5th, 6th, or 7th seed. They could win the division. I don't think it's impossible. I think realistically the division is going to be separated by like 4 or 5 games between 1st and 3rd. 1st and 2nd is going to be really close. 2nd and 3rd will be as well. So, you know, I like a lot of teams in the NL East for next year. I think the Braves, Mets, and Phillies are all going to be playoff teams. And so, you know, watch out for that East, man.
Anyone else have any final questions for Ryan? All right.
I just want to say I just love the acknowledgement that Ryan gave about Mets, because, you know, Alex seems to hate on them. And yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to ask one last question for 5 minutes. It's one last question. It's not even baseball related, but you're a big Pokemon fan, right?
Yeah, huge one. Played it my entire life.
Oh my God, same here. What's your favorite region again?
Big Sinnoh guy. That was the first. Pokemon Platinum was the first game I actually ever played.
You don't understand, Ryan. You understand? Like, it wasn't my first one, but I grew up on Sinnoh too. I mean, Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. Oh my God.
Sinnoh's my favorite region by far.
Yeah, I can I played Platinum my entire childhood. Like, even when I got Black and White, I played that game, finished that game, then went back to Platinum. You know, I played that game, and then once I got an emulator on my computer, I beat Pokemon Platinum a good 15, 16 times over COVID.
Oh my!
That's not even counting ROM hacks of Sinnoh games, which I probably beaten 7 or 8 times. Right? I play that game. I love that region.
Pikachu here approves.
That's a phenomenal get right there.
I got it at the New York at Rockefeller Center. And, what was it? Build-A-Bear in Rockefeller Center. I got it there.
That's awesome. Yeah. I got to get something like that. That's dope.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. Did you get a chance to finish Brilliant Diamond yet?
No, I haven't got to finish it. I don't the way I use the Switch, so it's my brother's Switch really.
Oh,
so
okay.
I don't need Switch. Yeah.
The struggles. I finished it too. I had a lot of fun with it, but I just wish they incorporated more Platinum content.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is burnout, because I played so much so many times that I picked up the game. It wasn't too different, and I'm like, all right, I think I got
here's the thing. it's not different until you reach the Pokemon League. Once you reach the league, it's real different.
Cynthia, man. Cynthia.
Yeah, I heard Cynthia's tough in this game. I really
That's the one thing I'm glad she's just as tough in Virginia. Okay.
No, she's tougher. Like trust me, this is the hardest champion Pokemon has ever created. It's ridiculous.
When my baseball season's over, I'm going to probably be able to finish that game. But I had season, was trying to get back into pitching, and now my season started, so got locked in on that.
Oh yeah, you played baseball
then
too,
when
right?
that's done, this is high school year, finishing out high school with that. Then I'll finally be able to just
Also, if you haven't got a chance to try, have you tried Legend of Arceus yet?
No, I want to buy that game.
Yeah,
I'm saving up.
Just so you know, highly recommend.
I heard that game is I heard that game is it. Like, I need that game.
Yeah. Okay. But Ryan, we thank you so much for coming out. It's great to hear all your talks about baseball, about the Yankees. We thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure having you, man.
Yeah, I had a ton of fun. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah. So before you go, just want to give us a little plug. Tell us where all listeners can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at Ryan Garcia ESM. You can find the Deep Drive Pod at Deep Drive Pod. And you can follow my work talking about these at Fireside Yankees. So thank you guys so much for having me around. I really appreciate it.
No problem. We thank you so much for coming on, man. Take care.
All right, you guys
don't be a
safe.
stranger. Don't be a stranger.
Of course. Anytime you guys want me on.
Yeah, all right, that was Ryan Garcia. Again, you can catch him on Twitter at Ryan Garcia ESM. Go check him out on Fireside Yankees, Deep Drive Pod, all that good stuff here. But guys, you know what time it is?
College basketball time. And let me screw it out.
No.
Adam, give me the free will. Adam.
It's time for the hot. Before we go college basketball, we gotta do the hot take of the episode.
Oh dear God.
Listen, if y'all don't want to do it, I'll do it again.
Hey, I'll do it. If my name gets picked, and I gotta make a hot take on how
Yeah, so recap.
I'll go 3 of 3.
You didn't get the other game.
All right, guys. So to recap last episode. All right, guys. So to recap last episode, Sam went and his argument was that the Nets were gentlemen sweep the Heat and it got approved. So Sam, you're off to a 2-0 start to the season. So obviously when Chris, I said the scare when Chris gets back on, he will be going, but until then, we're just gonna keep doing our spring wheel. So I haven't gone, Marcellus hasn't gone, Alex hasn't gone, Mike hasn't gone. So those are the 4 names on the wheel. So.
Listen, if y'all don't want to go, I'll go again and become 3-0.
All right, but guys, you ready?
Yeah, man, I'm ready, Freddie.
All right, the wheel is spinning, starting now.
Please, and I pick the black.
And the hot take is going to be done by myself, Adam Grassani.
Right. Adam, I disapprove regardless. I disapprove.
Adam, I'm letting you
go. Kevin
go.
Durant, I quit.
No, what's the goal? Mike, I'm not gonna lie. I have a really good hot take, but I'm not gonna say it until the end.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be judging
Ryan. Not Ryan. Sam, I'm just gonna say is that you could have gone last time. If the hot take you planned for today, you could have done it last time. So.
Oh no, I literally just thought of it. Like,
okay. You
maybe
just
an hour
thought of it.
ago.
Okay.
That's why.
I
know what I got. All right. So what do you got?
All right, guys. So you know what I'm gonna do? Okay, Michael said I'm gonna do something about Kevin Durant. I'm gonna do something much worse than that. I'm gonna do something that probably only Alex here is gonna be interested in.
I disapprove.
I'm gonna do a hockey hot take. I am going to argue why, if he's not right now the best player in the New Jersey area already, Jack Hughes will be the best player in New York, New Jersey by the end of
Oh,
2023.
okay, no. Oh no, you're blasphemy for that. I don't even. I know a little bit about hockey,
Yeah, I can't
and
speak for
that,
shit,
and
but
even that, I know about this.
Adam, even
What you're
I'm
saying is
black.
blasphemy.
Black
All
people know
right.
that
Let me talk to you about. Do you guys know how good Jack Hughes has been this year? Let me rave for a second about what this man's doing. He just scored 2 goals in this past game against Montreal. He just scored 2 goals. I believe he's averaging what 11.1.18 points per season. And when you look at his numbers, his points per game, he's right behind Artemi Panarin of the Rangers. He's ahead of everyone else. He's ahead of he's ahead of Adam Fox. He's ahead of Chris Kreider. He's ahead of Matthew Barzal of the Islanders.
All right, but
the only one he's behind is Artemi Panarin. And guess what, guys? Artemi Panarin's 30. Artemi Panarin's 30. Jack Hughes right now is 20 years old, and there's my big argument. Here's my big argument. We're comparing Jack Hughes to Artemi Panarin, like he's the main one comparing him to here. To argue why, look at the talent that the Rangers have around them. The Rangers are legitimately a good team. Like Artemi Panarin has a good team around him. Like Adam, Jack Hughes is playing on like one of the worst teams in the NHL now. Yes, Jack Hughes does have actually some good players around him, like Nico Hischier, Jesper Bratt, Dawson Mercer. But here's the thing. When you compare the 2 rosters, like you look at the Rangers roster and the Devils roster, like it's clear that Panarin has more to work with. Plus, when you combine their age and the fact that Jack Hughes is like a center and just what he's been doing. That's what I'm saying right now. If he's not the best player in the city right now, mark my words, by the end of 2023, Jack Hughes will be recognized as the best hockey player in New York, New Jersey.
Okay, so I have 2 things. First of all, wait.
Stop here with this Jack Hughes blasphemy, and you basically sucking his dick right now. I'm sorry.
Just for the record, like just for the record, what you accuse, I will admit, what you accuse me of doing to Kevin Durant, that's why I actually do to Jack Hughes.
You are sucking Jack Hughes off, literally sucking him off right now. Dry.
Okay, so Adam,
Go ahead, Sam. Go ahead.
Here's my thing. I have 2 things. First of all, I hate how you're making me argue in a hockey segment. I don't like talking about hockey. That's first of all. But since I have to put you on blast for hockey, this is what I'm going to do. You're saying he's going to be the best player in just 1 year. My issue is this. What place is the New Jersey Devils in? And just answer the questions.
We suck. We suck. That's all I'm going to say. We suck.
So how can he be the best player if this team sucks?
No. He's going to be the next best player by like next year. But my thing is, how is he going to become the best player by next year if this team is literally terrible? And hockey is one of those sports that it's a team sport. So like you can't just say like, oh no, yeah. It's like he's carrying the team. It's like this is the best analogy to use. Michael Jordan, when he was in the 80s, was scoring 35 to 40 points a night. Was anyone in the 1980s saying Michael Jordan's the best player in the league? No. They were saying Larry Bird was the best player in the league. Magic Johnson was the best player in the league. Because even though Jordan was scoring 40,
this was the same guy that said Larry Bird.
Wait. No, but that's what I'm saying. Even though he was scoring 40, his team wasn't winning that much. It's the same thing with Jack Hughes and this team. Jack Hughes is an amazing talent. I'm not going to deny that. But you saying that he's going to be the best, even in this area, in 1 year, and his team sucks like they're dog water. That I can't go with that. I cannot go with that. I will give Jack Hughes 3 years. In the next 3 years, he will be the best player.
Okay, so you're saying 3 years. I'm saying like in the near future.
Yeah, that's
and here's I get what you're saying. And here's my rebuttal to that, Sam. Here's my rebuttal. You're saying like how can he be a best player if his team stinks? Yes, they'll stink this year, but here's the thing though. They do have like here's the thing though. They do have like a really good. They do have a really good core. Again, the players I just mentioned, like Jesper Brad, Dawson Mercer, but even more than that, they've got some really good players on the way. Alexander Holtz is like when he comes up. I don't know if you've heard. You probably haven't heard of this guy. When he comes up, he's gonna be a lethal scorer. He's gonna be what the Devils are missing on the wing, like where they have that dominant scorer on the wing because they have a lot of great players, offensive players, but most of them are playmakers. They don't really have that many pure scorers. So when Holtz comes up, he's gonna be a big time scorer. And you ever heard of Luke Hughes, Jack Hughes' brother that we've drafted? He's playing for the University of Michigan right now, and he is tearing it up. So he's gonna be up in a couple of years. So when you say the Devils are gonna be like how can it be good if the Devils are gonna be terrible? Like Devils right now, I would say, even though they suck, they're not far away from. They could be one of those teams that does if not next year, then the year after that. They could be one of those teams that goes from worst to first. They could be one of those teams with the quarter. The really only concern they have is goaltending, which is a issue we're gonna have to argue out whenever we get Yanni on.
All right, but Adam, but then can I make that? But Adam, can I then make the rebuttal of since then there's going to be more scores, he's going to have to score less, just because
here's the thing.
He has more scores around him.
Here's the thing, though. Like remember in hockey, you get a lot more reward for assists more. Like assists count as points. Like it's not like a basketball where the only points you get is like by putting the ball in the hoop. In hockey, if you assist, it counts to your scoring.
That's true, but at that point, it's like
just for record, Jack Hughes is currently averaging 1.17 points per game. He's and Terry Panarin, the player on the Rangers, he's averaging 1.23. So they're only they're 0.6 points apart. They're less than 0.06 points apart.
Adam, you're boring us. We wrap it up. You're just rambling.
All right. Any final questions? About my hot
you're rambling.
No.
Alex, did you have any questions?
I don't.
Okay.
Thank you,
my
Alex.
hot take is over.
Finally, I'll go first. It was too long. I don't know nothing about hockey because Black people, we don't skate, first of all. So I disapprove. Yes? I disapprove.
Okay.
And Adam, my father, disapproves, and my friend Kelsey disapproves your hot take. So you're 0 for 3 right now.
Next.
It was definitely a pretty good take. And I think I have to go the opposite way from Michael and approve.
You guys are like hot and cold. We'll disagree on anything.
Marcellus, go ahead.
I guess I'll approve it. I mean, I don't know shit about hockey, so.
Sam, you're up.
All right, it's not gonna matter either way because you're just gonna approve yourself. We all know that already. But just so that you approve yourself, I'm gonna disapprove just because. One, you made me talk about hockey, and I don't like hockey. 2, and more importantly, I feel like Jack Hughes can be the best player in the next 3 to 5 years. But saying he's going to be the best player next year, I think that's just too much of a stretch, especially because they're in last place, and I don't see the Devils going from last place to first place because we say that every year, and what happens? They end up being like shit. So
That is a good point.
that's why I'm disapproving.
Okay, so right now, Thursday, right now we're tied. As you said before, I can't vote on my own hot take. So, know what we're gonna do? We're have to follow a friend. I'm gonna have to let Chris know. Let me message Chris right now.
I got a friend in the room, so I can ask her if she approves or disapproves. What do you say about that?
No, we're invoking Chris here.
Oh, Chris is at a basketball game. Let him rock.
Okay.
I'll ask Kelsey. She approved.
All right, so my hot take is approved on that 1-1 to the start on that 1-1 of the season.
No.
Do not make me invoke the commissioner rule here. Do not make me invoke the commissioner rule here.
I'm fucking silly. Yeah, but all seriousness, Adam, you remember how I try to use my assistant commissioners to approve a hot take? You can't do that. Next. So you're over.
Yeah, that's right. We're still tied right now. So it's a good fit.
Wait, but Adam, isn't it if it's 2-2, then it just fails because it's not majority rules?
Yeah, it's not. So you're
is that the rule we came up with, or is
that Adam? It's the rule for everything when it comes to voting. If it's 50-50, it just goes into a fail.
Okay, fine. I'll take that all 0-2. Fine. How about that?
Yes, but now we're gonna get to my favorite.
How about this? We'll make this bet. If Chris doesn't get back to me by the end of the episode, it's a disapproval. But if he gets it before the end of the episode and it's approval, it's an approval.
That's fine.
I'm trying not to go 0-2 to start the season. Give me a break, y'all. Give me a freaking break.
Adam, you're ready in first, second place. Let us have this.
I'm not the betting, all right, guys. Can we move on?
Let's talk about college basketball because I got to rip somebody into
all shreds. Right, that's right.
I got to rip 2 people into shreds.
Guess what?
I've been waiting for this.
For those of you who don't know, previous hot take episode, our friend Alex here argued why Duke won't make the Final Four. Why Duke won't make the Final Four. And guess what happened? Duke made the Final Four.
So I got something to say to Mr.
Michael, our Duke super fan here. The floor is yours.
So I got a question for you, Alex Benjamin. So if Duke wins the whole tournament, that means you're gonna. Oh wait, did we make a bet too, Adam, that he has to put Coach K on his profile pic for all of his social medias? So, Alex, how's it feel to be wrong about Duke? You say this. What you said this at the beginning of the year that they're going to lose in the Sweet 16, right? They won. Then they win yesterday. Duke is unstoppable. And let's see. I'm predicting this because God talking to God. Duke is winning the whole damn thing. That's all I got. And Villanova is going to be our bitch. And then they're going to be my dad's bitch. And they're going to be Kelsey's bitch. Then we're going to keep going and going.
Let me say something.
And then Duke is going to keep winning and winning. In the blaze of glory. We're going in the blaze of glory. So, Alex, you can suck it.
Let me say something.
Over, and you can kiss my black hands. And Adam, and I'm done for the show tonight. I'll text you my pick because I had to say my piece with the buffoon.
Wow, that's all you came on for? All right.
Yeah, I had to because I'm petty.
You're not gonna stay on to talk rest of college basketball. You're not even gonna stay on to roast Sam's Travel League director.
First of all, Sam's team is just terrible that they can't play. Gotta go.
Okay. So that was Michael Cunningham. Go ahead.
I do not see Duke winning the national championship. I do not.
Okay, so first you said Duke won't win the national championship.
That's not that, Alex. That's not a surprise.
I think
First said they won't make the Final Four. Now you say they won't win a national championship.
Adam,
it's like Max Kellerman saying like, oh, Tom Brady's gonna fall off the cliff this year. Oh, he does fall off the cliff. Oh, he's gonna fall off the cliff next year. Then he won't fall off things. Like, okay, well, he's gonna fall off the cliff this year. It's like you keep on going on and on, like hoping that you're gonna be right. So even if you are right and Duke doesn't win the national title, like I don't think you get much credit.
Alex, you're saying to let you talk. However, like, how many times can you be wrong?
Sam, let me just get this out of the way. So from my perspective, I see Kansas being national champions.
I don't like that pick. Just for one reason and one reason alone. The Miami game today, they had to go on that 32 run in order to come back against Miami. That's why I'm saying I don't see Miami being a better team than Duke or UNC, which is why I was saying whoever wins that game is winning the championship. If UNC beats Duke, UNC is winning the championship. If Duke beats UNC, Duke is winning the championship. Because we all know Kansas is going to beat Villanova because Villanova lost one of their best guys. So,
I mean, you can't say that Kansas is one of the weaker teams in this Final Four, but you just gotta put your head to Ochai Agbaji. He's been one of the best talented young players for Kansas, and having David McCormick, he's been a tremendous all-around player for Kansas, and I mean, I'm saying that Kansas is a very deep threat team this year, and as you can see, they can do whatever they need to do in order to be successful, which they were, and they are chasing a championship, obviously. But I mean, Duke has been off and on, and I'm not positive about if they can actually put up their big man feet and beat this Kansas Jayhawk team in the national championship. It's going to be a very dirty dogfight, but I just see Kansas being the team on top at the end.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think, I still think Kansas is also gonna win. Is also gonna win it all. Like,
I mean, the amount of depth offensively is spectacular, and Duke has been disappointing throughout the season with the more like the games that they played, and it disappointed people. Like, people are saying that this Duke team is not as what they were expecting it to be, and I think this is reality, that this Duke team is in the Final Four, but can't get over the hump yet and reach their destination of being champions. And I think Kansas is a very more talented offensive team than what people are saying. And this will make them stronger than Duke, because Duke hasn't been on their how am I supposed to say it? Hasn't been on their A game throughout the period of this tournament. I mean, they have, but throughout the season as a whole, there's been some spots where they weren't as great as what people expected, and in the long run, I think Kansas Jayhawks is going to overtop them and beat them in the national championship game.
Wow. Yeah, I still like I'm sure like you I said for I still think I still think Kansas wins, but I think Villanova is I really hope we get that Duke Villanova national championship.
I
Could
mean,
you imagine the fireworks that would be on this podcast?
in my perspective, it's going to be a very tough game for Villanova on their side with losing Justin Moore, one of their biggest threats offensively. And just hearing the news out of Villanova earlier today was so heartbreaking. And I wish him nothing the best with his recovery. And he's going to be getting surgery tomorrow, it sounds like.
Yeah, that sucks.
And I'm not sure if he's going to be able to travel with the team to New Orleans. But, just speaking as a perspective on the Villanova side, they still can be a tough opponent going into this Final Four matchup. If you see this squad in the big picture, they got Colin Gillespie, Caleb Daniels, Brennan Slater, Eric Dixon, and a couple more. And this group is special. It's special than every other group was, because the chemistry is there. And in coming into this tournament, everyone thought that there would be a special team, which they are now. And having the ability to play in the Final Four speaks volume of this team. And I do think they can make noise still without Justin Moore. It's just going to come down to the offensive rebounds and the defensive stops, with Kansas in depth in a lot of things that they have. And unfortunately, I am not going to be on the Villanova side as the winner of this game. I think Kansas comes out strong, and they're going to play strongly in this game, and they're going to win by at least 6 points or 7. And it's going to be a tough matchup for Villanova, but I just don't think Villanova has the capability of getting through this matchup, even though they have this material with Justin Moore at the point guard. And it's going to be very interesting to watch on Saturday for sure, to see what happens. And I'm just really curious to see what exactly happens to this Villanova squad and how Kansas reacts.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more with what you're saying, Alex. I definitely think I wouldn't be shocked if Villanova pulls off the upset, but I definitely think Kansas, they're definitely gonna be the favorite. They're definitely gonna be the favorite.
Their coach Bill Self is a tremendous coach, just like Jay Wright, and I think that he deserves this game as a win for them. Just like putting in words of how Villanova season went, and seeing these two unbelievable teams match up is going to be a very special gift for college basketball fans this coming Saturday. And I'm very excited to see and watch these two great coaches compete and have the ability to coach their squads.
Yeah, I also want to talk about another college basketball story here, is that unfortunately their run came to an end, but what a run for St. Peter's, man. Getting all the way to the Elite Eight, first 15 seed in NCAA history. Oh my God. Was it their coach or I believe they posted on Twitter they said don't be sad because it's over, be happy because it happened. It sucks that that they couldn't like win the whole thing, but the fact that they got to Elite Eight alone is enough to be proud of.
I mean, I knew going into the UNC game for them was going to be a disaster, which it was, and UNC is a tremendous squad, and there was no way St. Peter's could win that game.
Yeah. But then again, I'm sure no one had St. Peter's being Purdue either.
Yeah, that is one of the biggest upsets in history of the NCAA tournament by far.
You definitely have Sam Morell. You want to get some tournament thoughts in? Sam Marcellus. Did both of them fall asleep?
Sam is probably on the toilet.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. Okay. We can't have you die on us, Sam. We need you to stay for the game when we roast you know who.
You guys just roast him. I don't need to do anything.
Okay, but did anyone else have any? I mean, when we look at Duke and UNC matchup. I mean, that's gonna be a huge game too for obvious reasons. I mean, the rivalry between those two schools, for the last time, everyone thought that Coach K, that UNC, in his final, game at home, UNC winning that game, was such a heartbreaker. Now Coach K is gonna have a chance to, get his revenge. So that game is definitely gonna be, we're definitely gonna have eyeballs on that one. We're definitely gonna have we're definitely gonna have eyeballs on that one. All right, but does anyone else have any final college basketball thoughts?
No, not really. You guys covered it all. That's why I was staying quiet.
Okay, we just hit it out of the park so good, right, Sam?
Yeah, it's the first time I can actually shut up.
Okay. All right, but are you guys ready to move on to our bets? Oh yeah, one more. Actually, I'll talk about this story. We'll talk about this really quickly. Kyrie Irving made his return to Barclays Center today, and Nets 119 to 110 loss. It was great to see Kyrie Irving back out at home games, but boy, he was not good, man. 6 of 22, 1 for 9 for 3, only 16 points. He was just you need better from Kyrie. Now, granted, it's his first game back. So maybe give him a bit of a break, but they're definitely gonna need better from him going forward. And now with the loss to the Hornets, Nets are now the 9 seed, and these next couple of games are going to be crucial because right now they're tied record wise, but they're currently a 9 seed. So if the Nets ball out, if the Nets they need to get that 8 seed, they desperately need to get that. They desperately need to lock up that 8 seed because if they don't, then they have to do then that's gonna make it so much tougher because they're gonna have to win 2 games to 2 games to get into the playoffs rather than just one if they were the 8 seed. And I don't know if you noticed this, Sam, but we were saying before how the Nets were in trouble if they had to go to Toronto because Kyrie Irving wouldn't be able to play. Well, as of right now, Toronto is actually the 6th seed, and Cleveland is essentially Toronto's currently a game ahead of the Cavaliers. So if Toronto's going to stick up a top 6 seed, and the Nets and the Cavaliers are going to be a 7th seed, the Nets they almost have to be the 8th seed because then you got 2 games with Kyrie. You're gonna have 2 games with Kyrie Irving to get to ultimately get a shot to play in. So which I think is realistic. I think the Nets can do, but. And even if they did finish as the 9th seed, I wouldn't say it's beyond a shadow of a doubt that they would I still think that they could ultimately find a way into the playoffs, but it would just make it so much harder. So that's in trouble, guys. If they need to really play their best basketball down the stretch at and they need to really jump Charlotte again, to Charlotte again to get the AC, because if they don't, then we're gonna look back at this loss and saying, ugh. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that little Nets rant in there. A little bit of show padding, if you want to call it. But guys, it's time for our bets of the episode. And guys, guess what? We did it again. For the fourth time in podcast history, everyone lost. For the fourth time in this podcast history for our bets of the episode, every single one of us lost. I had UCLA over UNC on the money line and Nets over the Hornets. My parlay was a complete and utter disaster. Alex had the Heat over the Knicks, Villanova, Houston, Blue Jays over the Tigers. Villanova did beat Houston, but I'm pretty sure the Knicks beat the Heat, so that wrecked his parlay. Sam, you had the Pelicans over the Spurs. Money line, Bucks over Grizzlies money line.
I don't want to talk.
Okay. Chris had Houston over Villanova. He went head to head with Alex, and he ultimately lost. Marcellus had Heat over the Knicks on the spread, and obviously that wrecked his parlay. And Michael, our friend, had Duke over Arkansas, Nets over Heat. He knocked both those out of the park. He needed one more win to complete his parlay, but guess what? He chose the Cubs over the Rockies in a spring training game, and the Rockies just dominated the Cubs. So, guys, every single one of us lost for the fourth time in history. So I'm gonna say it, Sam. I don't know if you agree. I think we should brag about this. I think we should promote this. Whenever we talk about this, whenever we go to friends, go to bars and we talk to us, say, hey, we do I'm part of a sports podcast, and we do a betting segment at the end of every episode, and four times, we all made bets and every single one of us lost. That's a nice pickup play. That's a nice pickup play at the bar, don't you think, Sam?
No, they're just going to look at me and run away.
Alex, I think you would agree there, right?
Yep.
It's a nice pickup play. Marcellus.
I think we should all be ashamed of ourselves. We should all be ashamed of ourselves for that one.
4 times this has happened. 4 times where every single one of us lost. And guess what? Even worse, not one time has every single one of us won. We have 4 times where every single one of us lost the bets. We haven't had one episode yet where every single one of us won.
It's just crazy because the Knicks weren't supposed to win that game at all. And they decided to win when I take them.
I mean, granted, the reason why we haven't had an episode where also is we do have a lot of head-to-heads, but still, that's no excuse. To have it where none of us have won an episode, but all of us lost an episode. Again, I think it's something that we should mention preaching on this podcast. I think it's something that we shouldn't hide away from, and we should highlight it. All right, I'm going to stop here. To give you the update on the standings, Marcellus, you're in reigning first place, 3-3 record, 30.32 points, 10 stars. Chris, you remain the second place, 3-3 record. Sam, you remain in second place, 7 stars, 2-4 record, 29.49 points. Chris remains in third place, 3-3 record, 18.48 points for 6 stars. I'm in fourth place, 2-4 record, 26.6 points for 5 stars. Michael's in fifth place, 2-4 record, 12.51 points for 2 stars. And Alex, you remain last place, 0-6 record, no points, no stars. All right, so let me ask Michael to get his bet hand. Let me ask Michael to get his bet hand, and guys, Chris did get his bet in, and for the second straight time, he is daring. Alex to go to because just for record, guys, as of right now, we're probably not going to do an episode Thursday because we'll explain one of the reasons why later, but another reason is that Alex can't make it today, so I'm sure I'm sure other people can't make it, so it would be real it's not the best day scheduling wise, but we do have something else planned for that day. So again, we'll explain after we're done doing our bets. But so we are gonna allow people to bet for the Final Four in this one, and take a guess, guys, what Chris is taking.
He's taking UNC in Kansas.
Wait, is it UNC? Wait, is it UNC in Kansas or Villanova in Kansas?
No, I'm saying he's taking Kansas over Villanova and UNC.
Yeah. He's taking Kansas over Villanova, and he is once again daring to Alex to go head to head with them. So that's Chris's bet. Kansas over Villanova on the money line. Alex, are you going to take the call?
I decline.
Oh, okay.
So can I say my bets?
Okay, yeah. You can go here. I still gotta think of mine. I still gotta think of mine.
Okay, I'm gonna do an easy one so I can get on a winning streak. So I'm gonna do the Denver Nuggets money line against the Indiana Pacers.
Nuggets over Pacers money line. Got it.
And that game is Wednesday.
All right. Guy. All right. I'm gonna go here, and again, I don't know. Again, I'm on a 4-bet losing streak. I need to turn things around here, quick, fast, and hurry. Because I remember, I was talking like a little bit of trash, because I'm off to a 2-0 start. I'm on top of the world. I just won last season, and now, guys, I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting to get humbled a bit. So I gotta think of something here. I gotta think. So again, I'm gonna try to play it safe here. I don't want to play it too safe, but I definitely don't want to take something that's gonna get me no points. So I gotta think of something. I don't want to take them. Should I? I'm debating between two right now. So here's what we're gonna do. Sam, if you want, you can go, and then by the time you're done, I'll have decided. So, Sam, you there?
I'm choosing Bucks money line and Pelicans money line. Adam, I dare you to choose the 76ers. You won't.
Okay. I'm probably not going to.
I think Mike said
yeah, we got Michael's bet here. He's taking Duke on the money line. No surprise there. All right, so I'm gonna lock this one. Here. Tomorrow I'm gonna take the St. Louis Blues on the money line against the Canucks. That is gonna be my bet. Blues are great at home. The Canucks are good, but they're not anything stellar. So I'm gonna take the Blues over Canucks on the money line. All right. And what was your bet against Sam? Bucks and Pelicans.
I ain't get my bet in yet.
Yeah, that's right. All right, Mr. Ringleader, you're up.
I'm gonna take Nuggets over Hornets money line.
Nice. What game is that? What day is that again?
They play them all night.
Okay. I thought Nuggets played Nuggets. Actually, you said Nuggets over Pacers. Is that for a different game?
For another night.
That's for Wednesday.
Okay. Nuggets over Hornets. All right. Let me just finalize everything here. No, I just noticed, guys. No parlays this time. Thank God. I think that's the reason why we went 0-5, or why we went winless last time, because too many people were taking parlays. I think that's the reason why we've had 4 episodes where none of us won. None of us won, but guys, that's all for our best, and that's all for this episode. So on last episode, guys, we were saying how me, Michael, and Sam we were playing a 1-versus-1 Michael versus Sam basketball special for the YouTube channel, and we're also playing to do Mario Kart for the debut of our video game channel, Get Your Gaming On. But we were supposed to have those up like today on Monday, but guess what, guys? A little fun story here. We were supposed to do it. We were supposed to record everything Sunday, and Sam, for those who don't know, Sam coaches a travel league team, and his game was supposed to be at 12. And it's when he was supposed to figure, okay, he can coach his team, he can come back, and then we'll do everything. They contacted him last minute to move his game from 12 to 4. They contacted him to move his 12 to 4. So we had to, so that also wrecked our plans. Thankfully, we were able to find a rescheduling day, but that was super inconvenient. And to make it worse of all, Sam, I believe you coached what was it? You coached 6th graders, and they made you play 8th graders.
Yeah.
So we're gonna say this as nicely as possible, so because we don't want to get Sam fired. But to the director of Sam's travel league team, you are now officially the Turkey of the Week. Congratulations. Sam, are you just going to remain silent?
I'm going to just plead the fifth this entire time.
I don't blame you. But guys, anything else? Have any final thoughts? Sam, that's the thing. Michael was roasting Sam, calling him chicken. So Sam, I'm sure you're extra motivated to just drop 20 on him on Thursday.
I already said he's only going to score 6 points.
I can't wait. Sucks that it got delayed, but man, I can't wait. But guys, that's it. This has been episode 82 of the Gay Game Podcast. Yours truly, Adam Grassani, Cunningham, Alex Reich, Marcellus, Murdock, Sam Morell, and our special guest, Ryan Garcia. Thank you, heard. Be sure to leave a like and follow or subscribe to the podcast. Also, if you want to join the conversation, leave a comment on YouTube or reach out to us on social media. We feature what you have to say in a future episode. Remember, my friends, don't assume your dreams are just fantasy. If you can imagine a world, believe in it, and dive in. See you next time, and until then, stay lit.